This is my apartment's main living space. And this is my bedroom. I have to do something about this. Since we moved into this apartment in February 2024, I've transformed my living room space, the dining space, my home office, and our balcony. But this bedroom has been neglected for far too long. Of course, we had other priorities. We spend most of our time in our living room, watching TV, playing video games. And of course, I work from my home office desk every day. So those were our priorities. But it is finally time to tackle our bedroom. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just way too boring compared to the rest of the apartment. We don't plan on painting any walls, but it does deserve more personality. So let's see what we can do here. Let's go. So here's the plan. Since we don't want to paint any walls, it has to be interesting in some other way. I've been collecting references for a feature wall behind the bed, and I'm gonna aim for this look. A shiplap panel with a floating shelf on top. Ideally, I would want the shelf to take up the whole extension of the wall, but I have no budget for that, so an IKEA lac shelf will have to do. And of course, it will also be white to maintain visual consistency. This wall really needs a shelf. Look at this poor projector. And also, it will be a great way to add height and visual interest through some decorative objects. So, with a solid plan in mind, it was time to get started. First step, wood panels. I was glad to find these big panels at Home Depot. They will be perfect. So we got them cut to the right height and we split them into a few pieces to fit the car. The panels were white already, but they had some blemishes that needed covering. So I could not escape the painting phase. After drying down, they were ready to be installed. And oh boy, was this the hardest part. After playing Tetris with the pieces to make sure we had the least amount of cutting as possible, I was relieved to see that it was a perfect fit. But we had to deal with the outlet situation. We only had a flimsy handsaw and a dream. So yes, this took a long time. After measuring the location of the outlets and the light switch, we cut the holes on the panels in a very unprofessional way. But who cares? They will be hidden behind the nightstand. Except for the switch, but we'll deal with that later. Alright, with the cutting out of the way, it was time to fix them on the wall. And since we're renting, I wanted to do that in the most renter-friendly way possible. So of course, we used the good old command strips. 6 pairs for each piece did the job just fine. Here's how it looked right after. And since this whole process took a whole afternoon, I need a coffee break. But don't worry, this will take just a second, thanks to this wonderful little machine here. It dispenses filtered hot water instantly and in the perfect temperature for coffee. Isn't that cool? Huge thanks to today's video sponsor Waterdrop for sending this over. I'm fortunate to live in a place where tap water is safe to drink, but I've always preferred an extra layer of filtration to get rid of all possible contaminants such as heavy metals, chlorine, and microplastics. If that sounds like you, or if where you live tap water is not an option, Waterdrop is the perfect solution. Their powerful reverse osmosis filtration system is SGS tested and proved to reduce over 99% of impurities, and it delivers the same great taste as bottled water, while reducing plastic waste. Besides, it requires only one filter change per year, making it a much more cost-effective alternative to bottled water, while still being very practical. This model specifically is amazing for those who are renting like myself, because it requires no installation. Just plug it in and you're good to go. This portable design is also great for other places in the house, like a bedroom. And it can also be taken with you in travels. Spending the weekend in an Airbnb you're not sure has drinkable tap water, just take your Waterdrop filter with you. Waterdrop also offers many other models, including under sink, remineralizer, and hot and cold solutions. I'm sure you'll find the perfect one for your needs. So make sure to check the link in the description. Get your Waterdrop filter so you and your family can enjoy clean, pure water every single day. And thank you Waterdrop for sponsoring this video. Next step, shelf. As I mentioned before, I got the LAC floating shelf from IKEA. You just can't beat the affordability. We thought it would be prudent to get a stud finder to make sure we will drill in the right places. But who knew the cheapest one we found wouldn't work as planned. So of course, we decided to drill anyways. But everything turned out okay, thankfully. Now a disclaimer. I suspect that many people will not find that drilling into walls is very renter-friendly. And believe me, I avoid it as much as I can. But there's simply no other way to install a shelf without drilling, and I really wanted one. So, I lost that battle, but it was worth it. I loved it. Now, that left a considerable gap between the shelf and the panels. So, the next step was to use this decorative molding to hide it. By the way, I also got them from Home Depot and painted them white. So, as a simple and effective way to install them, I used double-sided tape and it worked super well. So after installing the shelf, I immediately styled it with our favorite photos, books, the projector, and a touch of greenery. So the first phase of our project was complete, and I was super happy with the difference it made so far. But there were still a few things I wanted to change. First, the bedroom was lacking color in my opinion. Even after getting a green bedspread and an orange cushion, I still felt the need for some more color. So I decided to change the white duvet cover for a green one. This one I got from Amazon and it really surprised me. It is 100% cotton, so it has these natural wrinkles, which I love. Totally worth the purchase. It's amazing how the choice of bedding can really make a huge difference in a bedroom. Okay, so another thing that wasn't feeling right is this bookshelf here. I had it in my office in our previous apartment, but it simply doesn't match my style anymore, and it definitely feels out of place in this bedroom. So I found another home for it on Facebook Marketplace, and we will deal with this empty space later. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We have the wall panels and also the shelf, which was a game changer. Can't believe the projector actually has its own place now. No more pile of books. And I also got a new duvet cover, but yeah, I'm so happy with the results so far. But what's definitely missing here is a rug. and I already ordered one. I'm very excited, so let's find out together if it's gonna look good or not. I am obsessed with this rug. It was the perfect choice for a bedroom. And I absolutely love the checker details. 10 out of 10. And while we are on the topic of rugs, I also decided to change the one that defined my home office area. The white one was way too tired, and let's say it's not very smart to get a fluffy white rug when you have 2 black cats. So I got a round green one instead. So pretty and so comfortable. We've had this IKEA bedside lamp since we arrived in Canada a couple of years ago. And although I have nothing against them, I just felt it was time for a change. So after spending way too much time looking for both new and second-hand lamps, I got this one from Amazon for a very reasonable price. I would love to spend more on more exclusive lamps, because I appreciate them so much, but I just didn't have the budget. But I'm actually super happy with these ones. The quality is nice, and the shade has this pretty shape, which also adds more texture. Okay, so I think we're almost done. I really like the results so far, but there's something that has been in my mind for a while, and that is how light these nightstands are. I think this bedroom is lacking some contrast. The floor is too light. The rug that I chose is beige, and we didn't paint the walls or the panels, so everything is white. And so I think these nightstands could use a darker color. So let's try to do that. They are solid wood, but they are pretty smooth. So let's see if I'm able to sand them down and restain them using a darker color. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I really thought sanding by hand would be just fine. Of course it wasn't. So there I went to Home Depot to get an electric sander. This little IKEA nightstand had a thick layer of acrylic lacquer, and it was a nightmare to sand down. In fact, it was so chaotic that I even forgot to record most of the process. I really was busy trying to understand what I was doing and worrying that my neighbors would hate me forever for the noise. But yes, eventually it was done, and I could finally apply this stain. This is a gel stain in the color Kona. After applying 2 coats, I had to cover a few spots that were not sanded properly with a sponge, and I didn't remove the excess stain on these areas. And another detail that made all the difference was replacing the drawer handles. So cute. After applying a clear spray finish and letting them dry overnight, they were finally ready. After all the mess of refinishing these pieces, I couldn't be happier with how they look in the bedroom. Would I do it again? Probably not. Was it worth it? absolutely. Now, the last piece of this project was dealing with this wall that became too empty after selling the bookshelf. First, I ended up deciding to get this little cute bench from IKEA. It's made of solid pine, it is affordable, and has some extra storage, which I very much need. Then, with this extra surface available, my old lamp returned. I like how warm it is and the pattern it creates when lit. To finish this little corner, some greenery and a picture on the wall. Oh, and remember the light switch? I decided to hang a frame to cover this very badly cut hole. We never used this switch, so kind of worked great as an extra touch of personality. Alright, it's finally complete. I cannot believe I finally concluded this project. It took so long. I postponed the refinishing process of the nightstands for at least a month. And yes, it was chaotic, as you just saw, but look how cute they look. It's so worth it. I think they made all the difference in the world in this bedroom. The contrast and the rich tone of the stain, I just love it. So, full transparency, the nightstands are styled, so they will not look like this in our day-to-day lives. We have chargers, we have books, you know, life happens. But I just thought it would be a fun exercise to style this bedroom a little bit and take some pictures and show you guys all the potential that it has. But yeah, overall, I absolutely love my new bedroom. I hope you do too. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And because you've watched until the end, I have something for you. So I've been receiving some comments both here on YouTube and on Instagram asking me for some guidance or some advice for design dilemmas that you guys have. So I thought, why not turn all these questions into something that might be useful for more viewers here on the channel. So I put together a form where you can submit your spaces and tell me a little bit about your story and what you're facing in terms of challenges, and I'll select some of the submissions and they will be featured in future videos here on the channel. So I'll leave the link for the form in the description, so go check that out if that interests you. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.